Okay, welcome back, y'all. I am going to get started on the radiator stuff. So this is my radiator. It's a Griffin 2-row, inch and quarter tubes, 26 by 19 inch core, I believe it is, with two 14-inch spout fans on it. That big old oversized shroud. And I'm just gonna freestyle this like I do mostly everything that I fabricate, but I picked up this metal here, so I've got some 1/2 inch and inch angle, and then I got some 1/4 by 1/2, which I accidentally got that. I should have got 1 inch, but I'm sure I'll still end up using this for something. So my idea is to take this smaller stuff and go along the edges of here, which I might have to trim a little more, we'll see, and make a cradle for it. And then I'm gonna come up this way with this 1 inch stuff probably, and just make a way to secure it in there, make a cradle, and then obviously it's gonna be flipped over and I'm gonna hang it underneath the trunk. So that's the plan. I'm just gonna start on this end and get this outer edge made. And I have to get somebody to weld A and bungs on here. I'm going to put them on the sides because I'm doing -20, and then cap off these right here, the inlet and the outlet. And then also on the cap, I'm going to have to cut that off and then get a -20 bung welded there, and I'll have an expansion tank inside of the trunk. So I need to do that here pretty soon, but right now I'm going to start making the cradle. So I will update you in a second once I have something going here. Well, so far I've done this. I think I'm still going in the same direction that I think, well, it might be, what's going to be a little bit different. So I have this spaced out, obviously, because I have to weld the bungs in here, or get them welded in here. Initially I was thinking of welding these coupler nuts on the edges of here and getting a piece of bar to go across and bolt it in, but I don't, it's kind of redundant seeing that I could just drill holes in this angle and just run a piece of metal across at a corner on all four sides and hold it in place. Or I could, I don't know, I could run metal across. I'm not sure yet. One way or another, it's gonna work something like that. But I gotta figure out how I'm gonna mount it in the car too. I have an idea, but I don't know. I'm gonna finish this part and then I'll just get it up underneath the car and start playing with it and see what the best route is to go. So this is what I have, and I realized later, so I was gonna make these coupler nut deals, I think I said this in the last clip, and like have pieces attached on the corners like that, but it doesn't make sense to not have it come all the way to the end on this side. And I don't need coupler nuts because I can just drill holes in this. This side is going to have to be like this because I'm going to have the inlet and the outlets right here in the filler neck coming off of one side. So I'm going to redesign this a little bit, and instead of just having the corners, I could either, you know, go straight across or whatever. This will have to be on the corners on this side. So I'm going to do some stuff with this, but I took my radiator and all the other pieces out to my buddy Brandon today, and he welded all the bungs on for me and did block offs on the inlet and outlet that came with it factory. So I'm gonna throw clips of that in real quick so you can see how it turned out. Hell yeah. That's it right there. Hell yeah, dude. That's it? Fuck yeah, dude. Look at that, dude. Dude, it looks so good. Hell yeah. Brandon hooked it up, dude. That's awesome. He knocked that out quick. Dude, if y'all need anything welded, hit Brandon up. How can they find you?
Performance Fabrication, hit me up.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Holler at them. If you're in the Greenville, Spartanburg, Bowling Springs area, you can get you some dimes just like that. We're in the game now. Dude, bro did such a good job on this. Look at that. You can see it way better in the light. Dude, that turned out great. I really hate that it's going to be underneath the car, but you'll still be able to see, you know, the ones up here, because this will be in the front. You'll be able to see it hanging from underneath the car. But dude, that's such a great job. So hit up Shepherd Performance and Fabrication on Facebook if you need anything welded, because dude, he does amazing work. And then I got the water pump back in. That turned out really good too. And he did, dude, he got up in there by the pulley. That was tight, but dude, he made it work. So I'm stoked about that. But I'm waiting for the fittings. Should be here tomorrow. And I got my thermostat housing. It's got a -20 coming down. It's a swivel angle, 90 degree. So we can get the lines in. I have the line as well, but I'm gonna start working on this cradle some more and try to get this thing mounted, and might do the lines tomorrow. That way we can let it idle and whatnot at least. And then wastegate dump and some wiring and the boost controller stuff, and we're about ready to drive this thing. We're getting pretty close. So let's see how this works out. Well, this is what I did. I just added pieces here in the back. I let my sloppy side show on this one. I mean, none of this could have been like straight, because like it's just off, and like I had to come up on these, and then like this little deal where the drain bung thing was, like it's just not, I had to like make it like to the contour of the radiator and then build off of that. I don't really have an excuse for some of these, but other than being lazy and tired of doing this. But I left this side like that, and then I came up in here and put these pieces in to hold it in, and it works pretty well. I've got this what's it called? It's like weather stripping kind of deal thing I can put in there and tighten it up a little bit. But that's what it is. So I'm gonna stick it up underneath the back of the car with a jack and figure out the hard part. Hopefully it's not that hard, but I just don't know how I'm gonna mount this yet. But I'm gonna figure that out right now. Oh yeah, I gotta get rid of this stuff. My original plan that isn't gonna work. I mean, you know, it would have kind of worked maybe, but just there's no way. Like that stuff's too big and bulky, and then if I didn't put the AN lines on the side and all that, it's just, with it being down, it wasn't practical. So I got the -20 AN stuff now. It's gonna replace that. It's gonna be a little tricky getting around through the diff around that CV axle, but it won't be that bad. I'll come up with something to make sure it stays out of the way. So the biggest concern is if I weld something in the back of here, well, the diff is going to drop out if I do anything with it, but everything has to be accessible. So I don't know. Let me jack this thing up here, and you're just gonna see what I came up with here, like right now. Well, I ended up with this fine piece of. So I mean, I'm really just going for it to stay in the car. It doesn't look the greatest, but you know what? It'll work. Just going for structure here, really, which that's cooling down. Yeah, I'm just gonna let it cool down, try to clean it up to the best of my ability. I can't really get in all them corners and crevices, and throw a coat of paint on it and throw it in. So basically the bottom of the subframe has 2 holes in it. I'm bolting there, and then where I have the crash bar on the back bolted on, I'm going onto those bolts. And it's at a funky angle. Like I said, I just kind of has to be where it's going to be, the way I need it, and then I work from there. So I just put that piece in there and put it up to it, and it's kind of tilted that way so I can get most of the air to come up to that corner where the filler neck is. And yeah, it shouldn't look too bad. I mean, most of it's going to be under the car, but it should look good after I throw a coat of paint on it. So I'm going to do that and throw it in the car, and you're going to see what it looks like right now. And there we go. And I should have checked before, but I knew it was going to work out. My line fits up in there very well. I'm going to be able to route it like this by that CV axle. Of course, I'll tie it down and whatnot. And it'll come out this way and fit those 90s either direction. But that looks pretty cool. Like, this thing's starting to look crazy more and more and more every day. But, you know, it's, you know, you don't really notice it too much standing from up here. Well, most people are up here, so they're not going to notice it regardless. But, you know, I'm curious to see what it's going to look like on the ground. But I think it looks pretty cool. It's like poking out just enough, even though, you know, we really couldn't have gone any higher than that. Just kind of is where it is. But I like it. I think it looks pretty good. So it's in there. It's mounted and pretty sturdy. And I think that's gonna work. Not the prettiest, but hey, I don't get paid to make it look pretty. I'm waiting on my fittings to come in. It should be here tomorrow. And hopefully I'll get that sorted out then. And I think that'll probably be the end of this video. And the next video might be of me tying up loose ends. We'll see how it goes, but hopefully we're ready for a drive soon. I'm going to show you just a short clip of how hard it is to do these dash 20 lines. I'm getting close on this one, but dude, I'm telling you, this thing's moving my whole bench. It made the vise spin at 1.2, but these things are tight. Once it gets like right down to the bottom, dude, it's crazy. It's not even that bad right now, but big ass wrench and this big ass piece of pipe. Got this one and then the other end, and that's the last one. Check out what it looks like. All right, well, I got my fans wired in. I got all the lines hooked up. That one's disconnected right now, but running under the car. I don't know if you can see it, but they're just tied up and run to the back. Right here. And dude, that looks so cool. It really does. And then the surge tank deal, I'm not super happy about how it is, but it just is what it is for right now. But I just made a bracket and hooked it up, and I've just got the zip tied back here for now. But I made sure that I could get this deal on there, and I'm gonna start it up or try to make sure I can get this thing bled out and the fans kick on and all that good stuff. I rigged up a little baffle so it's not super loud while it's idling for 20 minutes or however long it takes. So I'm gonna fill the block and until I see some water coming out of the steam line and cap that off, and hopefully I can get enough water in this thing for it to circulate right away. So let's see how that goes. Well, I'm sitting a little high right now. Hopefully it's gonna bleed all right. Well, there's things happening back here. I might have a little too much fluid in that. Might have to take some out, but I had to drain it because I forgot fans work. I forgot to cap that, or I forgot to put thread tape on that plug. I cracked the steam line fitting and got some air out of it. Hopefully, I might try that again. Hopefully, I can get all the air out of the system. Let's let it run a little bit and see what happens. Well, it took a little while, but I'm pretty sure that it's bled out now. It's idling around, 190-ish, give or take. And I basically came in here and just cracked the steam vent fitting until it was like a good stream coming out, and shut it off, shut it back on. It took a while though to do it, and it definitely puked coolant into my trunk a bunch of times because it got to at least like 220 at one point, and then I shut it off, and you know how that works. But I think that the air is out of the system, so the fans work very well. They're not as crazy as I thought they would be. We're just gonna find out when we get around some dust and a bunch of dirt. Still have some things to do before I can drive it, but I'm gonna try to knock those things out tomorrow probably. But that wraps it up for the radiator coolant system video. And as always, I appreciate you watching. Thanks for subscribing. We'll see you in the next one. Later, y'all.